Team Cofactors. My name is Anu Sonia Jose. I will be the host for this speaker, Anita Tejwani. I will be giving you a brief on what she does and how she's going to help us on board for this webinar. Let me just brief a little bit about our software, Teleduce, which is by this company called as Corefactors. Now, to tell you a little bit more about Team Corefactors, we have been there for past 6 years and have been working on this software, which is an integrated sales and marketing solution. It is a niche platform that helps business completely management, campaign management, and a complete marketing automation system. So if you have any queries related to the software, please feel free to contact us on the link which is provided in the chat. It is our website link. If you like this webinar, don't forget to like us and subscribe us on our blog. And please do follow us on LinkedIn. We are a B2B company. We like to take, we take networking very seriously. We like to take you on board with us for maybe partnerships or some CRM solution that you need from us. Or maybe we'll just like to be connected. Just to take this webinar forward, I would like to say this webinar today will be all about learning how to use personal branding in correlation with performance marketing. So the topic is learn how personal branding complements performance marketing. Now, just to start and give you an idea on what marketing is to everyone who knows what marketing is but doesn't know the extent of it. Marketing started back in the 1950s. It came after 20 years of sales practice, and it started when the customer wanted a little more attention from the number of vendors that were there in the market then. That's when the idea of marketing actually started. Philip Kotler has written stories about it, but let's not waste time on Philip Kotler here. Let's move on. Although he's a genius, there is another website which you would like to know about, which is splashcopywriters.com. Splash Copywriters will give you a list of 159 types of marketing practices that actually exist in B2B and B2C networking today. I'm not very sure if you guys are aware of the practices, but let me tell you, it's a wonderful read that will show you the kind of marketing tactics and strategies or skill sets you need in your company before we, delve into it and spend on them. So what I have on screen are the main ones that are being used today in correlation with each other again. So we have integrated marketing communications, which is on the top. Most of the companies have an integrated marketing team where there are marketers with different skill sets. So if you hear a company saying they have 30 to 40 marketing members on board, that is because they use something called as integrated marketing communications, which is a little bit of everything going 360 degree, right? Then we have performance marketing, which is more revenue-based marketing. We have account-based marketing, which is more in relation with what the client wants. And then we have personal branding, where the entire brand is being developed. But I guess Anita will give you a better idea on that. So I'll keep it as a suspense for you. Then we have ATL, which is above the line, where you have a lot of brand-related visibility that comes in. You have digital marketing, which is about digital devices. So device-oriented marketing happens. There is a lot of online spread in terms of the marketing tactics and strategies that work for that. Then we have content marketing, which is more into brand marketing again. I'm sure Anita would be the right person to give you details on that, but it is very evident today, looking at the amount of collaterals that are being spread around. Then we have traditional marketing, of course. We have BTL, which is below the line, all those hoardings, the billboards, the pamphlets, the standees that you see are all below the line marketing tactics. Moving on, if you want me to recount a little bit more about the other marketing strategies, we can name a few like affinity, affiliate, telemarketing, direct marketing, event marketing, video marketing, blog marketing. I can just go on about it. App marketing, geo-target marketing, remarketing, referral marketing. So yes, 159 it is. Now, just to give you a brief about Anita Tejwani, our guest speaker for the day. You might have read about her, researched about her after seeing the poster, or maybe you guys know her beforehand. So she would be helping us understand the performance marketing elements today. And she will be sharing her contact details at the end of the chat. So stay connected, stay glued to the screen. Anita is the youngest journalist in India. So India's youngest journalist, that would be the tag for her. She's the founder and CEO at wings2wills.com. It's her own personal brand marketing firm and venture. So yeah, she's a founder there. She's a motivational speaker. She is an author. She's a poet. She can just, I have a whole list of things that I can tell about her. So for me, we connected on our online reputation management project, and that's how I know her. So thank you so much, Anita, for coming on board. Team Corefactors especially welcomes you. Everyone, Anita.
Thank you so much. Hello guys, I hope you're doing all great on this Saturday morning, and I'm totally excited to be here and share my insights on personal branding, as well as how a brand that you build around yourself can make you business that you haven't thought of. Maybe your personal brand sells more than your product, and here's what we'll be talking about in today's webinar.
So moving on with the slides, she will give her inputs in between. So let's look at how the slide moves in. The deck starts with, you're the best brand. How do you make it outstanding? So we all know what brand is all about. It's the value proposition that a company or an individual brings on board, and especially the footing or the footprint that they have in the market. So here on the slide, you will see how a brand is built over the years. You first start with your own network. It doesn't mean you restrict yourself to the family or immediate friends circle or the network circle. Go out, mingle more, speak at the events. You need to step out and see how you can probably be of some use to the person whom you meet. Whether it's a BNI, which is a business networking individual event, or whether it's or a conference or a trade show, you can have a lot of touch points with your customers when you meet them outside. So standing out in this crowd is what your brand value is all about. So we are going to move on the same footing, and Anita would like to give you one more input on the same thing.
Right. So as Anu just stated that you should be going out and meeting more people, it might as well come to you as a surprise that people might have already read about you somewhere. Even when you're starting up, I think that gives you a lot of more confidence to go out and pitch in with a brand. Like, it's not your brand already that's built, but people knowing you is already a best thing right there, right? So even if I say that, okay, 1 million people know me, but they don't meet me in events or just like that, or the conferences that I attend, there might be people who have already read about me and they come to me, hey, I've read about you over here, maybe I read your blog, maybe I read somewhere about you, and that inspired me, and that affected me, that influenced me to take some decision, take some action. And I think that is your turning point on the very first stage of when you're starting out, or when you're putting out a product or yourself out there in the market.
Right. Thanks, Anita. So yeah, she's talking about footprints which are already there. Maybe someone who knows you has met them, someone who has a document maybe themed with your product details or your service details, or it could be an offline billboard or standee right next to the building that you've stood, and it shows you as a coach or a speaker at a very valuable conference, or it could be an online medium where they've seen you. So let's move on to the next slide. We're going to talk about brand versus performance here. This is brand marketing at a macro level. It doesn't just, personal brand is one set inside it. So if Anita wants to say something on this.
So yeah, I totally get it that, brand marketing as a whole is a huge concept altogether, and it has various parameters when it comes to just defining into, say, B2B, B2C or personal brand, which I call edge to edge basically. So it's B2B, B2C and edge to edge. Edge to edge is human to human, which is what I call it as.
That was nice. Right. So brand marketing, if you can see the slide, it details brand experience in terms of design, event sponsorships, public relations, billboards, content marketing, loyalty programs, paid software trials. Yeah, we kind of pay our reviewers just for them to get started. Sometimes you have a beta launch and an alpha launch, and you want people to try your software. You tend to pay them to get them started and put the word across. Word of mouth works for brand a lot. So yeah, buzz marketing, style guides, themed collaterals, this is all related to your brand. And when we move on to performance marketing, it actually ties the revenue element with these brand related infographics. It can be the webinars that you hold. It can be the newsletters. It can be the contests, the discounts and promotions for B2C. It can be the direct email contact. It can be popovers on the website or the pop-unders, free software trials, click to call, downloads, affiliates, meetups. Well, just to tell you, Teledues has customized to your requirements. So do give us a call to understand how we can help you on these and how it integrates the marketing effort with the revenue. Moving on, this is more related to B2B and B2C. Marketing, as you know, B2B would be a very different standpoint, and B2C is more about going viral. B2B is focused more on relationships and on the market share, more in terms of getting the trust of the customer, because it's a long buying cycle and you have to consistently nurture the customer even after the sale. However, the B2C element is more based on the quality of the product than the relationships. They believe in the trust factor comes through the brand that that company is built over the years or over the months for that matter. Can help you, or B2C where Anita can help you. We're both here for this particular webinar to help you and coach you on how marketing can take this level of your product and service to the goals and conversions that you're looking forward to. Moving on, I have on the right side social media content, e-newsletters, illustrations, videos, branded content, tools. Yeah, you can build tools also. When you want a B2C market, you end up helping your customer reach out to you. Then you have infographics, microsites. Microsites would be those sites which are supporting your main website. So if you want to be a Firefox, you need a network of close to 101, 103 or 150 websites. What they do is they take all the networks together, all the websites in the networks together, and then they do a search on that. So that's what makes Firefox today. It's all about networking online, whether it's a website or it's human. Moving on, we have performance marketing. So before this, we'll take up questions. Are there any questions for Anita? Guys, we're taking questions for personal branding. Any questions for Anita? Or would you like to listen to her on her experience? I guess, Anita, they'd like to know a little bit more about your clients or the work that you do on a daily basis. How do you approach your clients? If you could talk a little bit about that.
Awesome. So basically, I would like to portray it this way, that my story itself is a case study for personal branding, if you can say. So personal brand doesn't really mean that you have to be very sure about what you're going to do in the next 3-4 years, and then you start building it. But no, you can always change, right? So I am a graduate of Bachelor of Science with mathematics major, and no one would be actually getting to believe it, because I use none of my math skills in what I do today, apart from making money. Yes. So yeah, doesn't include to place anywhere with what I do. I started writing at the age of 12. And that started with poetry. Basically, it was raw thoughts that converted into poetry by the age of 14, I guess. Yeah, 14.
That's young.
Yeah.
Young.
Right. So by the age of 18, I had more than 700 poems written, and I was ready to publish my very first book. Now, here is where I understood that marketing is very much essential when I have to sell my book. Of course, I have put in years of poetry in there, years of my vocabulary and years of my feelings into those poems, basically. So, it needs marketing. And that's when I understood that nothing can sell, even if it's a book, even it's your feelings, even it's your dreams, it's your passion, it's your product, it's your service. Nothing can sell without marketing.
That's great. That's a great one. So which clients have you worked with whom you would be, we'd be inspired to know about?
Of course. So I would like to tell you about this client from London. His name is Jeffrey Ramley, and he is a Malaysian origin guy who has two parents, like two fathers and two mothers.
Wow.
He got lost in some event, a huge event in Malaysia, and he moved to London with the new parents who he got adopted by. And he turned out to be getting interested in a band in London. So there, I think his destiny took him to London, where he got interested in music, and then he started his shows. I met him in 2016 when I started Wings to Wills, and he was on a tour or a musical tour, I would say, in India. I met him in Bangalore, and from there the journey started. He then appeared in X Factors in UK, and he even danced with the judges there. He also appeared in Voice of India and came up to, I think, the top 3, I think, on that season. And he also happens to be singing for the princess, or I would say the Queen of England,
Wow.
in a personal show that she hosted. and that was a real big achievement. I think that's what the magic of personal brand is. You stand out and you go all in behind your passion, and you can actually convert it into profession that pays you more than enough than like doing a job. I would say just go behind your passion all in and stand out, make your brand, and then you see the magic happening.
That's really nice, Anita. We have a question for you. According to you, Jitin is asking this: which is the best marketing channel for B2B?
I would say marketing channel, if you want to go for B2B, it's LinkedIn and LinkedIn ads. They have been working really well for the businesses that I've known. And I'll just give you a brief that I have been working on both, on three of the parts, the B2B, B2C, and H2H, all of them in my career in the last 4 years. So yeah, I'll tell you this amazing thing about LinkedIn ads. What is this amazing thing is that you can actually target the person that you want to show the ad to. Unlike in Facebook or Instagram, you have to do the masses. In here, if you want to show the ad to say XYZ company founder, who is the decision maker to buy your product or service, you can actually just target him by putting out his name in the target audience and stating that this is my target audience, this is the guy I want to show my ad to, and LinkedIn does it for you.
Nice. That's target marketing for us. Thank you so much for the input, Anita. Any other questions, or can we move on to the slides? Right, we'll take questions after this then. So I am going to talk about performance marketing now, which is a little more into making sure your revenue pays you very well. If you can see the slide, you will be able to see on the left side, I have a particular news that, or a particular picture that tells you that somebody spent 1.578 billion in terms of advertising in 2016 across 12,700 publishers. Now, this is the advertising spent in 2016. 3 years later, we can only imagine the amount that is spent on advertising by companies across. Now, it also mentions that advertising comes through affiliate marketing. Now, how does an affiliate help you? For those of you who don't know what affiliate marketing is when you actually have a social community which talks more about your product along with your competitors, or it can be a particular blog that writes a little bit about the particular product range that you have and has very relevant content. You can pitch them for a particular commission, and that is affiliate marketing for you. So you have ClickBanks, you have Click to Connect. These are all portals where you can log in and advertise your product, because people who come on that marketplace are actually looking for a product like yours. Now, Corefactors is a niche product, right? So we have to make sure we people on such affiliate networks. Busy looking for someone in the market who. That's how performance driven you have to be as a marketer, looking for people on networks which have direct ROI spills for you, right? So let's delve more into the channels and move on to the next slide. Now in this, I can tell you it's a funnel which shows awareness, trigger, search, engagement, consideration period, and the purchase period in the funnel. And everyone who knows what a business funnel is, let me tell you, we have calculations based on the impressions, on the clicks, on the engagement, cost per engagement is CPE, that we calculate in terms of the amount of time or the stickiness that a particular website or a particular campaign has provided for your audience. Then we have cost per lead, where a person has genuinely shown interest in your product, whether it's through your websites, through your social campaigns, through your automation, in terms of email or SMS campaigns. If you use Telejuice, you can actually see how those leads are captured and converted from an end-to-end position. So if you want more details on Telejuice helping your business scale up, please feel free to ping us at cofactors.in, and we'll take you on board from there. And we assure you, we have every marketing campaign channel that you can think of associated in terms of capturing leads from them. So whether it's templates for those emails or whether it's SMSs that you want to send to your clients, Telejuice is the answer. Now, it actually, if I can talk a little bit more about Telejuice here, what I really like about the software is, usually when marketers are running campaigns and they capture these leads get stuck. Some of them you might pass on in terms of a CSV to your sales lead, and he might take it up from there. But what Telejuice does is, within a click, it's passed on to the sales lead. You can actually see whether the lead got converted or not. So that tells you whether the practice or the marketing effort that you've put in has actually worked out for you or not. Now, wouldn't that be nice? I mean, both your teams, marketing and sales, are integrated on one platform. They can both see the effort put in by each of the teams. That's performance marketing. You can see your ROI in terms of the effort that you're putting in. So you have cost per acquisition calculations that happen, and you can do that via your website, your PPC campaigns, your content views, downloads, your alliances, lead banks. Now, a lot of lead generation companies are there, call centers are there. But if you have your own call center or your own set of telemarketing team that can call and inform your audience about your product, there's nothing like it. The rigorous training and vigorous sales push has helped companies like Byju's today to reach where they are. And I wouldn't like to say that all the credit for Byju's would be performance marketing, because today Arjun Mohan actually attends, he's VP Byju's, he actually attends events within startups only to build and continue that circle of brand that he's been working on. So whether it's Byju's, whether it's Chai Point, whether it's Amazon or Google, you'll see a lot of visibility in terms of the brand on every channel, on every network, whether it's traditional marketing, digital marketing, performance marketing, it just doesn't matter. It matters that you're there when the audience or your client or your prospect or a visitor is looking for you. It's all about being available. Moving on, we're going to take how performance marketing and personal branding with consistent effort brings you growth. Before I move on to growth marketing, any questions on this? Okay, looks like we'll take questions at the end. So growth marketing would detail more about how you use a particular marketing tactic or strategy that works for you. It could be social media, it could be mobile app downloads, it could be mobile uh, web ads, or it could be your email, it could be your television ads, it could be content marketing, it could be desktop, it could be podcast, it could be anything that works for you. When you do it consistently over a period of time, you will see that something that works for you and you're putting persistent effort into it actually moves you to a different level. That's growth. Now, if you put a strategy to this, saying social media ads work for me, I'm an edutech where I take a lot of education-based softwares or tools that I'm selling, and if I want people to come on board for that particular thing, I put a strategy to it. I make sure the audience that is coming in has seen, has witnessed, and can take the word out with a recall value towards a growth element, right? So when they pass on the information to others in terms of word of mouth, that's where it all goes right for you. So even mobile app downloads, if you want 5 lakh people to download your mobile app, you will have to push through a strategy for that particular mobile app download, right? You'll have to connect with networks which are actually doing it very well already, so that they push you in terms of a very sustainable app going forward, a very scalable brand going forward. And that is how you predict your own growth. So a lot of people from B2C channels would prefer social media. A lot of people from B2B would prefer podcast or content marketing, where people are made aware, the awareness is generated. So moving on to the next slide. Now, this is where I feel, I think Corefactors will help me out here and support me on this. Engagement strategy is what brings together personal branding and performance marketing. So if you think personal branding is about getting people to the top of the funnel, and that's where the awareness is, where a lot of people are made aware of the solution, that's personal branding, then you're wrong. Personal branding connects at every level of the funnel. It's all about building your brand throughout. It's all about making sure the value of your product or service is, is on top of the mind of the customer while the customer goes through the entire funnel. Now, it can be a functional value. It can be brand value, can also be something that you offer. It can be 24/7 service. It can be anything related to a particular problem that you're solving for that particular. Maybe through calls, maybe through SMSs, and you can use telejuice for all this. So once you bring them to the lower part of the funnel, you know he's an engaged user. Now, converting an engaged user in a B2B circle or a B2C circle is far more better in terms of results. You have a 50% lower cost per acquisition in terms of engaged users than non-engaged users. So yeah, like the slide tells you, the lower the cost per engagement, the lower the cost per acquisition of your customer. So I hope you all agree with me on this engagement strategy, and I'd like to take you forward. This would be a template which you can use as your own storyboard. Nowadays, stories are relevant. Personal branding has complemented performance marketing to this core. People are selling stories online. If you've noticed, LinkedIn has its own LinkedIn Professionals storyboard that comes in. So we have a lot of conversations about who made it, how they made it, right? So I'll move on to the next slide. This is a template which will tell you on how she started, or any client persona for that matter, how you solved a problem for that particular client. That's what goes into the story, and that builds your case. A case study is now more of a success story for your customers. Now, when you're looking at a success story, you've built a story. What do you do with it? You send it out as campaigns. You can probably blend it with giveaways, coupons, polls, you name it. We would recommend visuals for more customer engagement. So let's look at that more in detail. These are the tools that we use on a daily basis at Corefactors. These are free tools other than Teleduce, which will give you a free trial for a few days. So don't forget to sign up for that. Other than Teleduce, which takes care of my main marketing campaign, visually, we use Unsplash for images. We have Google Analytics, Search Console. We have Buffer, Meet, Edgar. We have a lot of these for our day-to-day market campaigns. Other than tools, I'd like to share, we have daily reports per campaign, which happens on board. So would be the KPIs that I work on. It might be different for your team. It might be different for you as an individual working towards your company's marketing initiatives. So it can be clicks, it can be views, it can be campaigns that you run, it can be webinars, end-to-end KPIs or key result areas that work for you have to be nailed in those reports. Marketing without reports is not performance marketing. So performance marketing gives you more effort in terms of the revenue that is spent on getting the clicks, getting those comments, getting that kind of engagement from your clients or your customers. So on the right side, you'll see growth versus marketing. Now, there is a huge difference between marketing campaigns and growth campaigns. Marketing campaigns usually today ends up on the awareness level, that is top of the funnel, whereas growth talks about going full funnel, till the end your customer is retained by your team. That is what growth's all about. It's about having loyal customers on a day-to-day basis. So we talk about leads, registrations. In terms of growth, what is growth rate? It was so many people who was it. Now that has changed, which led to so many conversions more than last year or last month. Teams. As far as teams are concerned, marketing teams work on product being live. Entire silos is related to the design and the content related to that particular product or service that they are selling. However, growth is more into getting an integrated focus from data teams, marketing teams, sales teams, engineering teams, design teams. Everything works together, and that's where Teleduce steps in. So if you want to look at integrated marketing, design, analytics, R&D, sales and support, that's growth marketing, that's Corefactors. So contact us for more details on Teleduce, our CRM software. I'll take questions on board after this, and maybe Anita can give you guys a little bit more about her experience on personal branding.
Sure. So do we have any questions here?
Right, we have a lot of questions. We have questions from Shobna, Nagarjuna, Komlesh, Yes, Anita, you're busy answering all of these for me.
Wonderful. I'm so glad I would be getting an opportunity to answer so many questions. So we'll start with what? We'll start with Komlesh. Hi, but given examples are B2C, how can link to B2B? I'm sorry, I did not get to understand. What do you wish to link to B2B?
I think he wants to say more about what works for B2B companies rather than B2C.
Okay, wonderful.
Because your experience is more with B2C perspectives. He wants to know how much you can help B2B companies like
No, of course. I have had a lot of experience, more than 2 years into B2B. My first company that I worked for was Mukunda Foods, which was, of course, a B2B company selling a product of more than 2 lakhs per customer. That was a one product costing 2 lakhs. So that was the sales I was doing. I was heading the business and brand development team altogether. So I would be happy to tell you about, the funnels or the ads that we ran. So basically, how does B2B go about is your target audience is another business, a business that is already doing great. And here you need to find a loophole which you can be addressing with a value proposition that your product gives or your service gives. Now, of course, there are so many of the competitors out there in the market, and around developing not just developing a need of the, or not just developing a awareness for the need that the business has a need to do this so that they should buy your product. Rather, it should be more like that there is this value that we are giving you, which you would like to try, and then see if it is useful for you or not. So one thing that works best for B2B to grow a business through marketing, I would say it's Google AdWords, wherein keywords have been searched, and you can actually use the volume searches, and you can do some research on the keyword planner and how Google has been helping. Say, if you Google anything like a CRM software, I think Corefactors, the ad should be popping up on the very first link on Google, right? So that actually gives a huge authority to the product, because Google itself is placing that ad on the top, and Google being a authority, it's suggesting that you go with Corefactors.
Right. So Anita is talking about ads here. I'd like to add B2B is also about networking. Before you approach a customer, this is what your value proposition is. Is he the person to understand that? Does he have the budget that you want him to spend? How much do you know about their growth patterns or their marketing patterns? It is very important to profile your customer, learn confidence in terms of helping him out in terms of his problem or giving a solution.
I totally agree to what Anu has said, because this has helped Purple Quarter a lot when it comes to B2B. Purple Quarter is into CTO placements, and I, being the director of marketing for them, this has been a real good learning for us, when initially we did not know the customer, or trying to just place that, yeah, we want to give you a CTO, but that's not all, right? The companies themselves don't know who they want. They want a Brahma, Vishnu, or a Mahesh. They want a creator, nurturer, or a destroyer. What kind of a profile is when you can actually provide a value and the value proposition, and then pitch in, and then yes, the sales happens.
Right. I'd also like to add that when you're marketing to a customer, you just don't say yes for everything. There has to be a limit where you position your product in such a manner that you're not available for everything that the customer wants, because that puts you at a very lower level with the customer. You don't talk as equals. I feel service is good and service mentality is very good, But if you don't look at where you're positioning yourself in front of the customer, it of the conversation. So do not say yes to everything the customer wants, because once you put that habit, the customer sits on your head, you have to do everything end to end. Now, as growing startups, you might want to do that for the customer initially, but it's only till your first 1,000 customers. After that, I think you should product in such a manner that the brand effort, the brand value proposition.
So,
Right, Shobna's question, what would be the good marketing spend budget for a B2B company? And the next question is about Naga's question, which
SaaS
is into
product.
SaaS products.
yes.
Right. So we'll take both questions on for now. So that's Anita's forte again. SaaS would be software as a service for everyone on board, and SaaS platforms are usually a subscription-based model where the client actually connects with the business, and he opts for the platform and uses the platform on a subscription model basis. So in the software industry today, SaaS works out better than any other service module. So whether it's a platform as a service, whether it's a software purchase, which is a very heavy budget requirement, you would rather look for a user-based model. So I agree. What would be the good spend in terms of a marketing budget for a SaaS model? It depends on the company, and it definitely depends on the market share that the company wants to have eventually, the number of campaigns they want to run. It also depends on, I think, the network that they are trying to target. So yes.
Again, I would like to add that, coming to marketing budgets, on how companies actually decide what budgets should they be taking. Most of them don't even know. Okay, they just say, "Okay, acha, theek hai, we'll put in 1 lakh rupees and we'll get XYZ number of leads." But this is not how it works. How it works is you need to research on the market that you're tapping in. Okay, say your market share is having 1,000 potential customers, and you have 3 competitors, which makes your market divided by 3, right? And you get around, say, 300 potential customers. Now you need to understand that these are the 300 that hasn't been tapped yet are your the customers that you can get immediately by showing them some ads or making them click on your story, or telling them something that influences their brain to take an action. Now this is the market that you need to tap first, and you need to give a priority of your budget to this market share. then you have to put in some of your marketing budget, a share of it, a percentage of it, to the competitors market, right, which has already been tapped. They have already been using your product, similar products, and they have already been happy maybe, or some may not be happy as well. So you show them ads regarding to, if you're not happy, you can try this, and this is the value that we are providing. Here you're not influencing them, but you are here providing them more value and solving a problem they are into, right? So depending on all the aspects of marketing is where you decide what kind of budget goes in and where your conversion rate is highest. The target market share where your the conversion rate or your ROI, the returns on investment, is the highest, is where you put the larger amount of your budget.
Right. So I guess we've answered most of our questions here. We're running short of time, so I'm going to wrap it up here. This is Anu again from Corefactors. Okay, we have one more question. It's more about how Anita can help. So Anita, they preferably want your contact details. Would you like to announce it, or should I put it on chat?
Of course, it won't be an issue. Like, they can actually contact me on wings2wills.com, or you can write to me at Anita@wings, WINGS TO2WILLS.com. I think Anu would also be sharing it across in the chat, and we shall be happy to connect.
Perfect. Right. So let's wrap up details in terms of that would be the contact us slide. Please go ahead, contact Corefactors team for more questions. We'd love to help you. This is just the first of the many marketing webinars that we are planning for Corefactors, and for everyone who's registered, we'll be mailing you 20 practical email templates that we have used over the last 6 years to all the registrants on board. So hope to see you next week for another good session, say on marketing analytics. We'll keep you informed, stay connected, follow Corefactors. Thank you, everyone.